Today's training session will be on the Oracle E-Business Suite release version, and I'm trainer for the day. My name is Satyan, and I've got about 14 years of experience in the Oracle consulting space with some of the documentaries and average experience in the implementation and a Oracle project. So I'm seeing you today and understanding a bit more on what the Oracle ERP Suite is all about, and also have an introduction to some key concepts in the Oracle Business Suite. So as agenda for today would be the introduction to ERP and its effect to the Oracle Business Suite, and then discuss on the architecture of the Oracle Business Suite and some of the modules in the product. And we'll have a quick walkthrough of the application so that you get a better feel of what the product is all about. And then discuss on job prospects or how people as a company has got its strategies laid out for the future. And then we'll also have a quick discussion on the trainings and certifications relevant product. So most of the ERP term means enterprise resource planning, basically a process by which corporate companies manage and integrate the important business processes. So business processes is the core process of a company, which include the planning, purchase of items, stocking of items, sale of items, managing the employee workforce, and counting and recording all the financial transactions. Basically started out as a local on-site system wherein the product was confined to a particular company, and it moved to a cloud-based, internet-based system. And now it's even enabled. So the growth ERP over the years has been quite good, I would say. And the key reason why a company generally goes for a standardized ERP product is because the ERP products like Oracle incorporate the best business practices across the industries. So when it is initially formed, it was with a lot of inputs that went in from the different industries. It captures a lot of key business practices or the best business practices, and why it's always better to go with the standard ERP product rather than for a company to go with their own customized software system. So the ERP systems that you see in the market today are SAP, Oracle, JD Edwards, NetSuite, etc. So the pie chart here sort of shows you the market share of these products as of late 2016, early 2017. So it is the second largest ERP after SAP. The main has been in the Americas for Oracle, and then it's onto the Middle East, Africa geography. So the Oracle ERP suite as such, business suite, it's got a presence globally. It's available. We have done multiple projects across countries. Started out as in earlier versions of 9, 10, so on. But last 10 years, the initial version that most of us would know the release 11i version. In the release 12, which was totally different from the 11i version in terms of the look and feel and some of the key concepts. And Oracle is moving towards the Fusion phase. So they started implementing a lot of Oracle Fusion projects. And when it comes to the Oracle projects or any ERP projects, there are different kind of projects that we do. Implementation or greenfield implementation, as we call it, is a project where a customer or a company do not have any ERP systems in place. You need to start from the scratch and then implement the product for them. Upgrade is a different kind of project wherein the customer already has got a ERP system, existing Oracle ERP system in place, but it's an old version, and then have to sort of upgrade their system to the latest version. So probably moving from a release 11i to release 12, it's called as an upgrade project. So another type of project wherein if a company has got branches across different geographies, they have initially implemented the ERP just for the head office, and they want to extend the ERP functionalities to all their site offices or the offices in different locations. It's basically called a rollout wherein you just go with whatever was implemented at the head office, you sort of extend it to the subsidiaries. So it's generally a kind of project wherein you've already implemented or created a system for a client. We need to maintain the system on a continuous basis. So those are production support kind of projects. So, these are most common projects that we do. Okay. And, the results, these are things that you would have to relate to when you're in the R12 space. So we just call it P2P, OPC, R2, etc. So basically it means procurement to pay. So this is a cycle where it captures the business processes that's relevant to purchasing, of items, and making payments for the purchases. Both is to cash. So basically sell an item and then bill the customer for that. R2, the other activities which involve reporting and recording. So it's like doing all your financial transactions. Generally, if you're going to track your hits, these are all of the R2 cycle. So the architecture of the business suite and some of the modules. So the agenda for today would be more on the financial module. So in implementation projects, so first for projects, typical implementation project would have multiple phases. So it would be generally gathering the business requirements of the customer. You would then solution, which is called the solution design phase, basically try to map the business requirements with your Oracle product that you have. If there are gaps that's identified as part of the solution design process, you do a gap fit analysis. This you have a lot of technical or I would say technical assistance coming in because that Oracle product is not supporting the business requirements. But if these requirements are critical, then you need to find a way out to integrate add-ons basically to meet the business requirements. So that's the gap fit analysis phase. And once completed the development of your custom components, probably test them before you actually deploy it. CRP means conference room filing session. So basically, it's of multiple sessions wherein the concerns of the service providers discuss with the customers on the business requirements, the solution design, and how they have mapped the business process in the product. Either the standard product or the custom add-ons that were built. Once agreed by the customer tests the end-to-end solution. So you have multiple levels of testing. There's a unit testing where they test different modules. There's an initial testing where they test from a cycle perspective, so from procurement to pay or to cash, etc. So these are the user testing cases. And once the customer is convinced of the business processes using Oracle Business Suite, the plan to go live with the Oracle. So generally a typical implementation project. Now when concepts within the Oracle system have been released well, there have been a lot of changes as compared to release 11. Considering that all the people are training training for the first time. So if you're directly on release 12, these are some of the jargons or concepts that you would need to know. Just basically ledgers are books that you record financial transactions on. Now, implement the Oracle E-Business Suite for a company. You sort of fit company's architecture into the Oracle product, or comes with its own hierarchy of organization. So you have something which is called legal entity, you've got a trading unit, you've got an inventory organization, you've got sub-industries, location, etc. So you need to sort of identify the business units into one of the Oracle systems organization architecture. to any successful implementation. If it is not handled properly, the entire implementation fails. And then, a lot of security features and access features that released while gives. So so when you say multi-org access control, it's basically a mix of security features and ease of use features. We can discuss all that in detail, when we talk about these concepts. Community architecture, again, a key feature in the release 12 application. It talks about how some of the entities that we see in EB, like suppliers, banks, customers, etc., are shared across modules. So this was the case in the earlier versions, and there's a lot of benefit that community architecture brings when it comes to release. And in the Oracle space, you do basically two kind of activities in every module. You that module and then transact, or you capture the transactions in that module. So you need to understand what steps impact what transactions, or to perform a particular transaction, what steps. So all the covered when you discuss or get trained on a particular module in detail. Then a company, there would be a number of employees. You need to identify which employee gets access to which role, and what kind of functions or what business processes they should have access to in the Oracle. These are the roles and responsibilities. At this point, just giving you an idea of some of the phrases or jargon that we use that Oracle business suite. Most of this would have to be discussed in detail and can't cover it in the 5-minute time. So modules, broadly classify them as financial, supply chain, human resources, project suite, and system administration. Now, FIN is a generic term. So I have a module called Oracle Financials. It's a group of modules. What modules comprise Oracle Financials is what we see on the slide. So we've got general ledger, which refers to all the financial transactions. The accounts payable is another module where you capture all the players invoices and make payments. Receivables is a module invoices where you bill your customers and then collect the invoices for the sales that you have made. Tax eventually is subject to some form of taxation together on the transaction. So those are all ruled by the tax module. Cash. So all the payments and receipts that you make a company, you need to sell them with your bank statement. So that's with cash management. So these are anything new when it comes to the Oracle system. These are all regular business processes that you see in a company, but it's categorized as modules for ease of user access. In every company, there would be one that is not going to be doing payables and receivables activities. So some doing payment related activities, they will be doing the billing and activities. It's classified according to modules that users can have access to one or multiple modules per day. There's a mix of procurement, purchasing activity, or management, then of goods, stocking of goods, manufacturing. Again, manufacturing as a field is got its own set of modules. Human resources, anything the employees, management, project. It is implemented in companies which follow a project-based system for the business process. So, if a company which is into construction or which is into kind of industry where these as projects, project module is generally used, and project has got its own sort of module where you've got project costing, project billing. Assets change under financials, but because you finally end up converting projects to assets, you can also project billing. Is a general activity. So most activities is done by the individual consultants. Like financials will be handled by the financial consultants. Supply chain would be by activities in the Oracle space or Oracle EBS is handled by the DBS generally. It's basically giving access to users to the system, give certain responsibilities for the end users, security, managing the concurrent management programs, etc. So that's a totally different set of activities. These are meant to be system administration activities. So within space, as we were discussing, the general ledger is used for recording and reporting all financial transactions. So all ledger is final ledger or the end state ledger. Your payables, receivables are generally called for fixed assets. These are called as sub ledgers, which means these cap specific for the sub collections, which is just payments and collections, and these transactions finally need to be general ledger. And the management draws the child balance of the balance sheet of property there, access of the financial statement. Account usage is basically just recording the supply for all the pieces that you have made. You need to make payments. So Oracle has a particular format where you first enter the invoice and then make a payment. If you're using your order management module, you need to merge your customer with the uncurrent or receivable. Cash is used for reconciliation. To be tax, this is used for the tax calculation. So, the transactions that you do might or might not be subject to tax. So, these are all defined in the tax module as to what kind of transactions to be taxed, what should not be taxed. Different for every single country. So, it's got opportunities. Fixed and that's beneficial to the company over a period of time. Fixed are basically non-movable assets. So this is the machinery or the land or the building. So you track all those assets and you need to perform certain financial processes like depreciation, your assets. You need to record this. So all those kind of transactions are captured in the fixed assets. It's relatively smaller module. Basically, if their employees travel in the company when they go the travel reimburse, so on and so forth, all handled to the IX. Now, understand each of this module in detail would itself take multiple days. So, we will overview of the different here. So, application here. I hope you are able to see your application. So every has two set of responsibilities. As you can see on screen, logged into an Oracle now, as user, Satya got access currently to these responsibilities only, which means I can only perform transactions that are relevant to these responsibilities. So then into the application. So actually a DBA activity, but just for the demo purposes I'm just showing you. So I am configuring the user in the system, and I have a set of responsibilities that are active and given the module, the gender module, payables module, so on and so forth. And there's a date that we need. So depending on the modules that I have access to, I can access and perform transactions in those modules. And just access to some of the key modules that we have, like the payables. What we do now is, as a user, once I log in, I will quickly choose in which module or which responsibility I need to perform my transaction. Let's want to put on a supplier invoice and make a payment. I would be a payables related responsibility and given access. So I would say payables manager. So earlier every module has got a set of setups. So these are all done when we go live with the system. So the business requirements, you identify how the system has to work, and accordingly you put in some of the configuration in the system. So it's something that we do day in, day out. It's only the transaction. So the invoice I have of as a batch, which means I can create multiple invoices in a particular batch. I can create a standalone invoice. Now, get a test invoice. Creating invoices. Now, even creating an invoice, there are a lot of concepts that need to come in place. So the first that you see here is an operating unit. So about the architecture, where you need to identify business group, legal entity, etc. Now, modules within Oracle work at a different level. Now, pay, receivables, cash management, I would say, order and procurement, even at the operating unit level. The operating entity where you generally handle all purchasing and sales activities, and their aid process like payments and receipts. Certain will operate at a higher level. So, for example, employee-related activities are at a corporate level or a business group level. So, HRMS module or the HRMS module would operate at a business group level. Cash management in release 12 are tagged more to a legal entity level sort of thing, but they would also have access to operating. If this operates at a legal entity level, because the taxation is not specific to an unit or an operating unit, it's more at a company level. So each of the modules operate at different levels, so we get to know more about when we discuss individual modules. So for payables module works as an operating unit. I use the operating unit or the business unit for which I want to create the supplier invoice. I use my supplier from whom I have received this invoice, which I have system. So I check one of the setups is the definition of suppliers and customers in the system. So we load the suppliers and customers, we can create them. So you choose customers. So basically, when you buy something from a supplier, the supplier would send you the bill. Given that bill in the system, that's what we call as an invoice. And against that invoice, we would make a payment. See, doing this, if I've got a hard copy of my invoice with the supplier, I'm just recording that information as an invoice payable system first. So I could choose any date that's there in the system. There are several the system puts in. So let's say my supplier invoice number, I would put in that. What is the currency in which I got the invoice for? Price amount. Once I got this invoice, this would lead to certain set of approvals because you want anybody in the company to trade your invoice and make payments out of that. So you've got an approval process as I have highlighted here. You can give approval so that an invoice is above a particular amount or so on and so forth, would want it approved by these periods. You can get all that. Now, validation status that the system puts in. So for Oracle payable system to function properly, it's some level of information, accurate information to be captured on the invoice. So there's a process which we call as the invoice validation, which we would follow once an invoice is created. Now that would check to know if the invoice was created correctly or if there's anything missing in the requirements for them to process an invoice. If yes, it would generally put this invoice on hold, which means you can't payment against this invoice. So you need to rectify the issue with the invoice before you can actually make a payment. So seeded checks that the system puts in, or you can find some of the rules that you would want the system to adhere. before the invoice is actually paid by the uh, user. This look and feel, so got different concepts in the invoice. You can capture a lot of information. So you, so for example, we get error messages. So these are certain uh, check that we have implemented in the system. So for example, if you don't want to make a payment to this without invoice, you can actually enforce that on the system. So if you're trying to save an invoice, the system would not again, it would say you need a PO to get or to uh, make a payment. So please create with this required information. So need a request or I need this. You could put details. So then once you created an invoice and it's successful, you can access invoice. So R12 has got payments as a separate sub-mod, as I would say, as a payments manager dashboard, which is more self-service page kind of thing. So again, one of the key features is you have got both forms. So what you see now on the screen is forms, but then it has got a lot of service pages or HTML pages or OIF pages. So it's a mix of both. So every module has got some of, so this that you see here is a self-service page as we call it. So install comes in a self-service, so it helps you monitor the payment. So again, in payments, like in the case of invoices, you can make payments for an individual invoice, or you can make payments for multiple invoices at one go up to certain criteria. You can group similar invoices. So for player, if there are like 10 invoices, you can club all the invoices together and make one payment. Or you can make 10 different payments. So you have got flexibilities in doing that. Now, every has got something we call as reports and programs. Yes, when it comes to the job market, there is a requirement. There has been a steady requirement over the years, and generally two kinds of job opportunities you get. Either be a functional consultant or a technical consultant. Functional consultant is, you have to know the business, get matter expert and financial, or have work experience in supply chain space, or have work experience in the HR space. So you bring in your functional knowledge to understand the business requirements of the customer and map it to the system. Or technical consultants, where if there are gaps in the system, so you can build reports, you can build interfaces, so you can build extensions. So there are new additional products like OBI or Cover. These are add-on tools that you can work with Oracle for report and data mining. Again, as I told you, there are different job roles that are available in the market, or you would see in the market. You can be a technical functional consultant, or you can be a mix of both. You can be a techno-functional consultant. As you get more experience, you move on being a consultant to an architect, a solution architect, or a technical architect. And on that, a solution architect, you would probably manage the solution of the project. So you would do cross-module. You will have managed HMS, you need to do financial, you need to do supply chain, or you need to understand the integration between these aspects so that you do a solution. And architect is a step further where you also need to know about all the systems that involved in an implementation. So it's not going to be Oracle. There could be other systems that talk with Oracle system. They could go on interfaces, outbound interfaces. So you need to add the complete aspect. So that's become a enterprise architect, or you can also move into project management. But project to be a project manager, you don't need an Oracle understanding, but then having a good understanding of the Oracle product would help you in being a more efficient. The market, yes, being huge demand for consultants at all levels, whether it's consultant level or architect level, we get a lot of business opportunities. A lot of opportunities to travel and be the face of the service provider. So if you're going to implement product for some customer and on the client facing roles, you serve as the face of the company. It's going to be very challenging and exciting. So you've got all those aspects. Others of late has been in the Americas, Middle East and Africa. I have a lot of job opportunities in East Europe is predominantly in an SAP market. Asia Pacific again, Asia Pacific or the Australias again. You don't have any Oracle projects, but yeah, you have some Oracle projects happening there. Also, keeps come out with newer versions of the product. So from the 9 to release 12 to Fusion, it's just about 10 to 50 years. They have moved to 3 different versions. And Oracle also has got a strategy wherein they stop supporting a particular version beyond a point in time. So the continuous evolution of the product and the restriction in terms of support creates newer job opportunities for consultants. The consultant logical space very well. And ERP as a product generally is not specific to any particular industry type. So every industry where it's like it's a retail company, it's a telecom company, it's a manufacturing company, it's a company. Everybody uses an ERP because ERP is not a system; it's more a back-end system where you record transactions, you capture data, and you report it or you online information from that system. So because of its presence or flexibility to use across different industry types, there's a huge potential for that. When it comes to application, yes, Oracle does certify consultants. So the Oracle has certifications on the release and fusion space. So it's very to get certified through those tests and get certified as an Oracle certificate. It actually appears. Oracle application has got n number of modules, so nobody can be an expert on all modules. So like 100 plus modules at least. So you have scope of scope to learn newer modules, and the more modules you learn, the better solutions you can provide because you will know which module is best suited for which company processes, and that actually adds a lot of weightage to your resume. Okay. So Oracle space is going to be continuing aspect. Now I have completed our demo.